I think a growing number of people now and in the future are going to be troubled that Cruz wasn't the nominee. I believe this. Because during this period, having wrapped up the nomination, it's a period in which you're supposed to really take on the other party while they're still duking it out. And we would be debating completely different issues in a completely different way. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe in pandering to people based on their ethnicity, their religion, their skin color, their genitalia, what they do with their genitalia, anything of the sort. I believe, as Martin Luther King did, in a colorblind society. Even more, I believe Americans are Americans. You think about D-Day 72 years ago. It was us against them. We, the American people, on D-Day, against the Nazis. The American people. We are a people. We have a culture. We have a history. This notion everybody's immigrants, we got that. But if you're here, you're a citizen, everybody's an American. What's been created here in 250 years or so is incredible. Never before on the planet have human beings created such a magnificent society. Never. And we're squandering it. We're losing it. And now we got to debate this? I hear Charles Krauthammer on the Fox News Channel saying the Republican leaders are going to have to really think about this. They've endorsed a man. Do they really believe in this? And I would ask Charles Krauthammer, where were you during the primary, sir? Early on, you were trashing Ted Cruz. So was George Will. So was Karl Rove. So are most of the people on Fox. Not all, but most. He was never a favorite of Rupert Murdoch's or anybody else over there. And now they're going to wash their hands. Same with the Wall Street Journal editorial page. Who owns that damn paper? Murdoch. Now they're going to wring their hands about Trump? When the time came to do something about it, where the hell were they? And this stuff about this judge's ethnicity, the fact that the judge had some relationship or was a member of or associated with San Diego Lulac, that's fair game. You can bring that up. What do his parents have to do with it? Nothing. His parents had nothing to do with it. The fact that he's Mexican in heritage, but American in birth as a citizen. It's one thing not to pander, which we ought not do. It's another thing to go out of your way and provoke and attack people. Many of you listening to this program, some of you are white, some of you are black, some of you are Latino, some of you are Asian, whatever. Some of you are Gentiles, some of you are Jewish, some of you are atheist, some of you are straight, some of you are gay. I don't know. I don't care. Here's the point. The point is, when you're running for president of the United States and you've achieved something that very few people in the whole country have ever achieved, the nomination of your party, that's what's coming, right? You have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to all of us who care about liberty. You have a responsibility to help defend this country. And when you're taking off on these odd issues, these personal issues about personal litigation when you're supposed to be running for president of the United States, it is utterly and completely irresponsible. Now, Republicans don't know whether to support him who are running for office, or some of them have supported him, are now nervous, they don't know what to do, they're backing up. It shouldn't be like this. He should have 5, 6, 7 major issues and just keep pounding them and pounding them and pounding them and pounding her over and over and over again. She's a weak candidate. She's got a very, very vulnerable record. The same thing with Barack Obama when the genius Romney ran against him the last time and the genius McCain before. You see, this isn't about everybody getting behind Donald Trump. This is about Donald Trump creating a situation in which everybody wants to get behind Donald Trump. You see my point, Mr. Producer? And the surrogate media is becoming a laughingstock, an absolute joke. An absolute joke. And when this election is all said and done, they're going to remain an absolute joke. Instead of, as I said at the top on this issue, trying to persuade their guy to stand up and do what needs to be done to rally the nation, they attack anybody who doesn't fall into line. Like Soviet apparatchiks, which is why so many of them like Vladimir Putin. Nationalism, oh, yeah, right. That's what we need, a more centralized, more powerful, more muscular central government. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Government first. Give you another example. I was appalled to see this over the weekend, and you won't see it in the surrogate media, whether it's Fox or any of the rest of it. Trump backs Elmers in the 1st Congressional District. Do you know who Renee Elmers is? She is a disgrace. She is a buffoon. She runs as a Tea Party conservative, a former nurse. Then she lurches left. She takes positions that are pro-abortion, open borders, refuses to challenge Obama on its executive amnesty, one of only 10 Republicans to vote against challenging him on it. She's being challenged by solid conservatives, including another representative from there, George Holding, among others. Greg Brannon, a conservative/libertarian. He had run for the Senate in North Carolina. She's being challenged by good, solid Tea Party constitutional. And Donald Trump backs Renee Elmers. Do you know why he backs Renee Elmers? Because she was the first woman in Congress to back him. So is this what it's about? Is this what it's about? I'm curious. Now, these Democrats, they're relentless. Despite all their fighting right now, oh, look how divided they are. They unite. And they will steal, and they will cheat, and they will scratch, and they will bite to win this election. And they will exploit everything they can, every opportunity. And they will have the big media behind them. And so now, Trump and his surrogates, his handful of media surrogates, and those who have endorsed him, are being told, hit the judge harder. Hit the judge harder. Hit all this harder. Where the hell did I do with that article? I had it here somewhere. It was leaked out. Just leaked out. They had a phone conference. He and the surrogates. I'd love to know who's on these phone calls, by the way. And he was furious because staffers were leaking out that, they were, here it is, Bloomberg. An embattled Donald Trump urgently rallied his most visible supporters to defend his attacks on a federal judge's Mexican ancestry during a conference call today in which he ordered them to question the judge's credibility and impugn reporters as racists. We will overcome, he said, according to two supporters who were on the call and requested anonymity to share their notes with Bloomberg Politics. So even in his inner circle, he has these Rasputin types. And I've always won, and I'm going to continue to win, and that's the way it is. It's not about I've always won, and I'm going to continue to win. It's about the country, ladies and gentlemen. How is this going to advance our agenda to restore the republic and the Constitution and liberty and sovereignty? It's not. There was no mention of apologizing or backing away from his widely criticized remarks about U.S. District Judge Gonzalo Curiel. By the way, I have no special brief for this guy. He's probably a big-time lib. I have no question in my mind. But so what if he has a Mexican heritage? That's the point. When former Arizona Governor Jan Brewer interrupted the discussion to inform Trump that his own campaign had asked surrogates to stop talking about the lawsuit in an email on Sunday, Trump repeatedly demanded to know who sent the memo and immediately overruled his staff. Take that order and throw it the hell out, Trump said. So now you know when these surrogates, they go out on TV and radio and to these various podcasts and maybe hosts and so forth, they're in on this, talking point session. Told the memo was sent by Erica Freeman, a staffer who circulates information to surrogates. Trump said he didn't know her. He openly questioned how the campaign could defend itself if supporters weren't allowed to talk. Are there any other stupid letters that were sent to you folks? Trump said. That's one of the reasons I want to have this call, because you guys are getting sometimes stupid information from people that aren't so smart. Brewer, who was on the call with prominent Republicans like Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, former Massachusetts Senator Scott Brown, interjected again. You all better get on the page, she told him. In response, Trump said that he aspired to hold regular calls with surrogates in order to coordinate the campaign's message. Well, if the campaign's message is to keep trashing this judge because of his ethnic background, they better get the hell off that message. We're about substance. The left is about color and race and ethnicity and genitalia and all the rest of it. We're about liberty and individualism. We're about free will, the consent of the governed. We're about Judeo-Christian ethics. That's who we are. That's what we believe in. If a judge is liberal, he's liberal. Gives a damn about his parents. Gives a damn about his heritage. Reminds me of this crackpot over at this website called Conservative Nut House. They actually call it something else. Guy goes by the name of Sundance to cover up his true identity, which has been revealed. Used to work at a Publix in Florida or whatever. And he tweets out some months ago, Levin is a Israel firster. Why? Because you didn't kiss Donald Trump's feet. You're an Israel firster. No, actually, I'm an American firster. And I was an American firster before Trump. Fighting so-called comprehensive immigration reform and all the rest of it, while this guy was stacking eggs in the freezer section. But it seems to me those who are at the forefront of supporting the man need to advise him and tell him, this is about our country. This is about who we are. You can take your fight over Trump University and this judge and just keep going at it. But that's not going to save what's left of the republic or restore our constitutional system. And if you're going to take on the judge, take him on over substance. Have your lawyers file the appropriate motions. The fact that he's Mexican, he's American, is really pathetic. You know, these riots end of last week in San Jose, where people were waving the Mexican flag around. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? They deserve to be called out for it. I called them out for it. I identified them, and they needed to be identified. But this judge, he's not doing that. Not doing that at all. There's a lot of left-wing activist judges, including justices. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Kagan, Sotomayor, Breyer, and many others on the circuit courts and district court levels, and maybe this guy. Maybe he does have it out for Trump. Well, Trump and his lawyers know what to do about it. But you're running for president, you get in front of the TVs, this guy, what's his name? Gonzalo, I don't even know, I can't remember his name. Curiel or whatever it is. Mexican. Go, holy mackerel. Don't pander. But let's not exploit either. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.